Hi there and welcome. So this is the 9th of January, Color a Weirdie day with me. And I'm ready with my Weirdie of today, and hope I'll see some of you guys on soon. And I think, I thought I was gonna color with these chameleons today, and I'm gonna choose 9 colors, I think. I just want to choose a palette from here. So I'm going to take like one yellow and an orange, and I want to do a red that is going to be the vermilion. So that's my orange, yellow, orange, red, and then I want to have a pink. It's going to be the fuchsia. Then I want to have a purple. It's going to be the deep violet. And then I think I want I'm going to put them here. So that's then I want the blue. I think I want the indigo. I think that is the one that I really liked. Indigo blue. Then I want to have a turquoise. A turquoise here. This one says turquoise. So I'm going to go for that. And then I want the grass green, and then I want the one that they call spring meadow green. So that's my selection of colors, and there should be 9 there. Yeah, that's 9. So I'm gonna go for those. Hi Tina, hi everyone. I'm a little bit early on in the hope I can get to bed earlier. But the thing is that I have a lot of things to do after when I finish the video. So that can sometimes be a little bit, hi Patricia, and you got here at the beginning. 4 p.m. where are you at? It's 10 p.m. here where I am. So there is a time difference, but normally I'm actually on an hour later, but I thought I was gonna try to get a little bit earlier today. So I've got a selection of 9 chameleon pens that I want to play with on this one, and I'm just going to dig in and get started, and then we'll see where it takes us. So these are like from the last time I used them. I remember that these colors I kind of liked, so I'm just going to go for that and see how that selection would be in my kind of rainbow tone, you know. So yeah, I'm just gonna go in and really start in here and see where it takes us. I did get to draw a little bit. My kitchen is a mess. So after I finish here and I put up the new banner and all the things that goes with that, I will have to seriously do some cleaning in the kitchen. Because all the plates are there and everything. I cooked a roast beef, and I made a sauce that was just to die for. And yeah, I also need to update my blog with the 7 days black and white challenge, and I need to do that. Yeah, there's always a ton of things that I need to do. That's why it always gets really late for me, because I do this once my daughter is in bed, because then it's just the best time of the day for me to get the work done that needs to get done, because it's quiet here and I don't get disturbed as much. So yeah, this is gonna go up there, develop down there, and I think I wanna maybe actually just start it down here also, you know. Yeah, so I actually have quite a lot of work that I need to get finished. I mean, first of all, I need to put up the new one and the new Weirdie of the 11th and the banner, and I will need to do the blog things that I need to do today. But I also need to clean the kitchen before I go to bed, because it's a nightmare out there. It's an absolute nightmare out there. So, but the food was really good. I made sort of yeah, this roast beef. I just sear it off on all sides in the butter and olive oil and shallots. Then I put it in the oven to roast for 20 minutes at 160 degrees. And after that, then hi Bev, nice to see you, I'm fine. So yeah, after that I sort of just, made some rice, and the sauce was absolutely gorgeous. And I made some grilled red onions and some grilled potato slices, raw grilled. I'm fine. My arm is still better. It's better. It's way better today. So it's going forward with the arm. And after dinner, I actually even drew a little bit. I drew 2 Weirdies. I drew one Weirdie that I think we're gonna have to play with on Valentine's, because it's a hard Weirdie. So I think we probably have to get that ready for Valentine's, because it's a very hardy one. It's a love Weirdie. So we can't wait with that one. We have to get it out there. So you can look forward to a bonus one on Valentine's to sort of celebrate. So hopefully. So yeah, this is going to be nice. I just selected the colors that I believe are the ones that I remember that I really liked in the big chameleon set. I only selected 9. And that's just on purpose, because this one doesn't have a whole lot of spaces. So I don't want to like over exaggerate it with a lot of different colors, and that won't get in there. So I'm sort of planning it out because of the simplicity of this Weirdie. Well, simplicity, well, it just doesn't have as many lines. So it's more like hanging there. And I really like it a lot. So I just wanted to sort of keep it a more limited palette, but still in my rainbow feel. But I wanted to see if I could get my rainbow feel out of just choosing 9 from the chameleons. And why the chameleons? Am I going to do special tricks with the mixing and grading and all that? No, I'm not. I chose them because I do have refills. So, I'm not as nervous as running out because I have a refills. I'm nervous about having to refill because I never tried that before. So that would be a challenge to try that once I get to a point where I need to refill. But I'm also really curious on how long they will go on for before I need to refill them, since I never had to try to refill one so far. So that's a sort of just an interesting thing to figure out how long they can really go on. Hi, Beverly. Hi, Danny. It's nice to see you guys. So yeah, I just got in there, and I hope, feel free to share, because I cannot share. The video views have gone down really, like the statistics on my page are just dying because I can't share. Really annoying. I hate Facebook person. But, it's the way it is, and that's nothing to do about it. We'll just have to. I did write today to them that I thought it was unfair and unjust, and I tried to explain them that I also have a lot of groups where people are sort of like, they can't even like answer people who ask questions in the groups that I own and that I built, which is pretty darn stupid. I mean, I have my own group, AMVW Art group. I have a Global Doodle Sims group. I have Adult Coloring Videos group. I have a couple of groups for the artists. And I have the Color Weirdie a Day group where it's really essential that I can post the Color Weirdie a Day. Hi, Kimberly Holland. Nice to see you. So, it's like really not just hurting me, but hurting everybody who's trying to follow and be a part of what I'm doing. Hi, Danny. Nice to see you, and Julie. Awesome. Thank you so much, Julie. I'm really happy with that. That's so nice of you. Thank you. It feels like I'm incompetent, that I can't do what I'm normally doing, and I'm so glad, I so appreciate that you guys are helping me out, because it really feels like so idiotic that I can't do it, you know, it's like, damn. But yeah, that's the way it is. I have to try to move this tent because my hair keeps getting stuck in it, and I'm so afraid it's gonna fall, so I hope the angle of the video is still okay. But I can't have it fall on me, and this is nice. And maybe it wasn't exactly the red I had counted on, but it's a beautiful red. And I'm happy because this covers, because these are alcohol based, so I don't have none of that streakiness that I had yesterday that was really bugging me. I did get it scanned, and I haven't uploaded it to the Redbubble shop yet, but I did make the speed video, which looks really good. And Tina had made like progress, work in progress scans for me, that I turned into a little promotion video for Color Weirdie a Day that I had fun doing today. That was fun to put that together. So that's up on the page too, if you want to check it out. I think it's a quick, sweet little video that's fun to watch. So I'm really happy about that too. That'll be very dominant, this part of the eyes. And this is the brush side that I'm using, which I think is also nice. It's very soft in the end. You also do have here, this is a mixing chamber, but if you open here, you have like a little felt tip, and then on the other side, the brush tip. This, you know, and down here you have the mixing chamber if you want to like grade it to start from light going darker. I'm not saying that I'm not going to do it, but it wasn't in my plan, you know, to do it today. So I like to have it where I have like larger areas to do it on, because I just think that's more fun. So I'm sorry, I'm just gonna have to say something in Danish. Victoria, du skal sove. Jeg kunne høre dig lige før. Because I could hear her. So I had to tell her that she needs to go to sleep. She's very excited. They're going with the school to the experimentarium tomorrow. So it's very important that she doesn't come late. But she hasn't been late this week. I've been on time every time. Mainly because I have been sleeping after I deliver her to school instead of before, which helps a lot, that I just stay awake after I finish, you know, then I don't finish, you know, I just keep on working. And then, you know, I prepare breakfast and everything, get her up and go to school with her. Hi, Heather, awesome to see you. Nice to see you. And then I get her to school, and then after the school, then, you know, I go and have a sleep. And that has worked okay for me. I mean, I like to sleep when it's daytime, so it's a good thing that I'm like that. So, but you know, it would be preferable if I could sleep in the night and get up early. Somebody is pricking on my back. Yeah. Det er stadig ondt. Hvordan føles det? Jeg tror ikke, det er noget galt, men jeg har bare ondt. Måske prøv at tage et glas vand. Prøv det, ikke? She's got a pain. But she doesn't have fever or anything, so I'm not sure what it is. Maybe it's just she's a little bit worrisome of her nature, so she doesn't seem like there's something wrong. But I told her to get some water. I think she probably heard some part of the news that was on in my dad's about some sickness or something, and now she's feeling really bad. There was something about blood clots and stuff like that in the news, and she gets affected by that. That's, you know, news are not for children because they do worry when they hear things. But it's hard to control, you know, what they hear and what they don't hear. Because my dad watches the news 24/7. It's sort of like the only channel he knows how to watch, I think. Or he just only likes to watch the same news on repeat. I don't know. I mean, I find it pretty boring to see the same thing all the time. But it seems that it's the channel that he tunes into when he gets up. And it's still the channel that's running when he falls asleep. So I guess he just likes the news. Yep, you're pretty close, so that's nice. Maybe you can have a coloring meetup and with the cocktails. We'll have to have that launch with cocktails. Ja. Har du spist for mange ris? Har du børstet dine tænder godt nok? Må jeg lige se dem? Du kan bare gå ud og børste dem igen. So yeah, she thinks that the problem is that she ate far too many rice. She really likes white rice, just like her dad. And she will eat a portion of rice that is meant to be for 2 people. I don't know how you can eat that many white rice with nothing. I mean, she puts nothing on them except for a little bit of salt. That's it. She just eats dry, white rice. It's like the most boring thing I can even think of. But yeah, I guess that's what she likes. And yeah, that's weird. Now you can't really see my colors there. Maybe I should try to move this pad, see if I can put it around here this time, because there's room enough to put it around, and we can get the colors a bit closer in so we can see them. It's more fun if we can see them, no? Well, I think so at least. And it's nice that even though they're round, they're not really, now they're rolling. Yeah, but I was just about to say that it was nice that they weren't rolling. But we're just going to make a cap here, so if they roll too much, they won't roll far away. So we'll have this one here. So yeah, and I'll see how I deal with having this one on the other way around. But it's nice to be able to see the colors, so I'm not just grabbing them out of nowhere. So yeah, it was a very relaxed day. I did that video. I got everything else done yesterday. No, I mean, today she ate the pieces of roast beef, the slices, and just the white rice. That's it, and plenty of white rice. She ate like at least for 2 people white rice. It's very boring. It's what she likes, but the sauce was so good. She doesn't know what she's missing with the sauce. But yeah, she just eats white rice. She likes that. And she gets really, you know, like I have to make a double portion. So if anybody else needs the rice, otherwise she gets kind of upset. She doesn't really want to share the rice at all. But her dad has the same thing. I remember once when I did live with her dad, one day he looked like he was about to cry in the kitchen. He came out and was like asking, "What are you doing? What are you cooking?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm cooking potatoes and this and that." Because in Denmark, you just, you know, some days you eat pasta, other days you eat potatoes, and then you might eat rice or, you know, something else. You know, it's not like a big thing. You just, you know, switch it up. But it turns out Victoria's dad is from Ecuador originally. And turns out that in Ecuador, they eat rice for breakfast, for lunch, and for dinner, and in between. So there is no day where you don't get rice at least 3 times in a day. I don't know exactly how this rice for breakfast pans out, but he is used to his whole life. He's had rice 3 times a day. So, and he was like, but it's been like almost like a week since we had rice. He was like on the verge of tears, I promise you. I was like looking at him, I was thinking, whoa, that's crazy to be that attached to white rice. You know, I mean, boring white rice. But obviously, if you've grown up like that, then you have a different expectations of what's supposed to be in the dinner table. So after that, you know, I said, well, you know, there's nothing that says we can't have rice and the other things. And you just make rice, and then you can take it, you know. And so he always would have a big pot of rice that he could take rice from with all the meals, so that we would avoid the sad face. But I think it seems like my daughter inherited that rice addiction, so it might be a genetic thing with the rice. I don't know. But she really loves her rice. But I think it might also just be the fact that she knows that her dad loves it so much, and the same thing with her football addiction, you know, like that she loves the football clothes, even though that she doesn't watch football or play football. She just loves to wear football clothes. And I think that's just because she knows that he loves football. So I think it's stuff like that. If you don't see a person a lot and it's a person that means a lot to you, then you will try to take on some of their likes and dislikes or whatever. And I think that's good. That makes her feel more attached to her dad. So that's fine for me. As long as I don't have to eat white rice with nothing. I mean, at least put a bit of soy sauce on it or something. I mean, ugh, that's boring. Really boring. Unimaginably. I just can't. But yeah, anyways, I made some cool Weirdies today, and the one is a Valentine's Weirdie, and I don't think I will be able to hold it till next year, so we'll probably have an extra Valentine's celebration Weirdie this year, because it's just so cute. It's an easy one. It's not like really overly complicated, or won't take a long time to color, but it's really cute. So I thought we might be able to take that out and celebrate the Valentine's with it, because it's so sweet and full of hearts and love. So and then I'm working on one that I didn't finish because I wanted to go on at 10. So I still have to work on that one, and that one is looking really exciting and funny. I'm enjoying it. So yeah, I'm always working on something. Not always what I'm supposed to be working on, but it also depends what I'm doing. Like, you know, if I sit and relax a bit in the sofa, then I'll be drawing. And how did you see my drawing yesterday? Yeah, a hard Weirdie. It's so cute. It's so sweet. So I hope you guys will love it when you see it. But I'll probably pull it out around Valentine's, and we'll do it as a extra little celebration for Valentine's, I think. So that's cute. It will be part of a future book, but you know, we might just get to play with it a little bit beforehand, just to test it out. Yeah, just to have fun and see what it's like. And now we got a purple going on. Let's hope it's the right purple. Yeah, I think it is. So yeah, it's a very limited palette with only 9 colors, where some days I've been up on 37 or more. Then today I'm limiting it to 9, which I think can also be nice to sometimes not have just as many colors, you know, sometimes see something a bit different. It's still my rainbow. That does not change. And I'm feeling like, you know, I might add some details on this one. Not sure. I wanted to start with it, but then I wasn't sure, and then maybe I'll add something after when we're done. I'll have to see how I feel once we're done coloring it. I think, you know, I think I remembered rightly which ones that I really liked when I was trying out all the colors. So I'm hoping that I picked out the right ones. So I do like, I like the way they work, because I also think that you have to also keep in mind that they are also yeah, alcohol markers. You can do tricks with them, but you can also just use them to color with. And they're pretty neat for that, because they do color really nicely. And they lay down beautifully, and they're easy to control. And they get into those small things, because the tip is so fine. So you can really control it, but also do bigger spaces by just laying it down a little bit more. So it's a very controllable marker to work with, which I do enjoy. And then it has that felt tip on the other end. Doesn't have a chisel. I don't miss the chisel. I mean, with others, I only really use the chisel if I'm running out of ink, because it might retain quite a lot of extra ink. Or I use it if I do the tip-to-tip mixing, you know, if I use that method of blending the colors, then I do use the chisel. I think around the 15th, that's my plan, that around the 15th they will be ready to be bought. So I'll probably release this Friday on Amazon, because then they will be ready in all countries on the 15th. And then I'll put them up on the PayHip on the 15th and announce them on the 15th. So they might, for some, be available on Amazon already the 12th. I'm not sure. Oh, I have a lot. Oh, that reminds me, I have a lot of other stuff I also have to do before. So, yeah. Ooh, I forgot about a lot of things that I need to do. And I need to make the videos for those hard books, so you all can see them. And yeah, there's going to be 4. One where all 3 books are in. There's actually there's 3 books, and the 3 separate books cost $9.99 each. But then there'll be 1 book with all 3 in, and that will cost $14.99, because that's the cheapest price I could put it at. So that will be for the ones who want 150 different heart drawings. So, and I did make them when I was feeling a little bit in love. So they are made with a feeling of love, which is always nice if something is made because you really felt like drawing hearts at the time. Don't feel like drawing hearts. But I did draw hearts today, so guess I'm not all that out of love. I'm just slightly colder than I was back when I did the 3 books, because it's quite a lot to do 150 heart drawings. But it seemed to like sort of go phew fast at that time. Oh yeah, and I have to work on that Easter thingy with the tiny books for Easter. That would be nice. No, I never use the chisel end. Only when I do tip-to-tip mixing, I do. And I use it if I'm running out of the ink. Yeah, always best to get the best deal. The best deal is getting the one with 150 in it. That's definitely the best deal, because there you get all of them. But you know, for instance, there's some people who really hate mandalas, and they might not want to get the mandalas. They might only want to get the patterns, or some people hate patterns and they might only want to get the mandalas. And the abstract mandalas are not classical mandala. They're like, you know, out there. So there's 3 different types of drawings. I categorize them in 3 different types, and there's 50 of each. But definitely the best deal, of course, will be to get the full set, you know, the big book with all of them in it. But yeah, I will definitely pull out that heart Weirdie for Valentine's for us to have some fun with. We need to have fun and laugh a bit. This is gonna be pretty, I think. I think the color combinations here is gonna be good. I think that I did manage to pick out the ones that I think would work. I didn't pick any light colors really, except for the light green, and that was on purpose. So then I might mix it up with an in between in each tomorrow. I don't know. I have to look at the drawing of tomorrow, which one it is. I think it's the one where, if you think the one yesterday was a bull, then the one of yesterday is one of tomorrow is many bulls, as far as I remember. Yeah, many bullheads. So we'll see if that one will be bullheaded to color. That is yeah, that's a funny. I say stupid things sometimes. I surprise myself. It will be bullheaded. Duh. But yeah, it will be. I think so. It will be a stubborn one, and it will be fun. I'm so happy with the videos I got done, and you should check out the video, the promotion video for the Color Weirdie Day, where Tina made those lovely work in progress scans that I could use, and they really worked out awesomely. So I did some in between pictures, and then yeah, well, you check it out. The video is not very long. It's only about 30 seconds, so it's not a long video to watch, but it's pretty neat. I had fun making it. I like making videos. Sometimes it can be pretty time consuming, but the result is awesome, and that makes it all worth it to get a good result that you can be really happy with. So yeah. Physical books are nice to have. Exactly. I mean, this is not going to be, I'm releasing them in front of Valentine's, but they're not like Valentine's books. They're all called something with hearts or lovely or something like that. So, they're not like specific Valentine's books. There's no like boyfriend, girlfriend theme in them. The hearts can be used for anything, So I think that that's nice. And you can also use hearts for Christmas and for birthdays and anytime you just feel like it. So it is definitely not just like a seasonal book, but it just seems like a good time to release it, because there's a little bit more focus on the hearts at that time. So I thought that would be a good release time. I actually made them in September, October. I think the drawings, I drew them there. So yeah, this is lovely. I love this blue, because even though it's very dark blue, then it has a very strong blue color about it. So that is very satisfying to see. And it really goes well next to this purple, because there's no purple in this blue. So it does stand out against that purple. And as you can see, it's not my magenta thing. I used a real pink, the fuchsia is called, just also to make a bigger distinction between the red and between the purple in between there. So that's sort of why I chose that color. So there's different decisions that go into when I choose colors. And here, I could have put that blue too, but I think I'm gonna wait for the next color. Because I just think it will fit better. instead of actually having it hit the blue there. That will stand out more, the next one. I'm hoping. Next one will be the turquoise. Yeah, I think it's gonna be good. I missed a spot there. And I'm seeing, I'm so sorry that I can't comment on your beautiful colored, because if they're, you know, like, but I do see all of them and I save them for the videos, and I will be updating the album again soon on my page. So it's not that I don't see them, I do, I just can't comment on them. Unless they hit up on my own personal, on my page, you know, if they're there, then I can comment, but I can't comment if they're on Color Weirdie a Day. But it's important that they're on Color Weirdie a Day, so I do see them. Be aware of that, and I save them to put them up in the album and to put them in the video. So I do see everything that happens. I'm just not allowed to comment or post. That was så. Jeg skal nok ordne køkkenet, når jeg er færdig. Og så, du ved det. So as well, my dad just coming through. I didn't want him to get a shock when he goes to the kitchen and sees the mess, so I just told him that I was going to fix it, so he doesn't get like a heart attack or something when he gets out there, because it looks a right mess. A right mess. But it was very good food. It tasted really good. I've put some of them in the album, but there's new ones that I need to update. I can't put in the album on the Color Weirdie a Day, but I do update on the album on my own page, because I also have a Weirdie album on there, so I update it there when I can. I haven't updated today with the new ones, but I do when I can. So that will be kept updated. But probably a lot also figured out how to put them in the album, so that's good, because it's nice to have them in the album where we all can see them and look at them next to each other, because it's so pretty to see the different results. I really enjoy that a lot. So did you guys have fun to see me draw yesterday? I thought it was pretty nice. I got 2 nice drawings, and I scanned them also, so next time I'll just have to scan, and then I'll probably have to clean again. But you know, if I scan and clean right away, then it's not the hugest task. The hugest task is if you wait until you got a lot, then it's like, oh, I don't feel like it. But you have to. It's an important part of being a coloring book artist, is to make sure that your work is clean and looks the best it possibly can for the books. That's a very important part. So when people say, yeah, but I can draw, but I don't know how to clean, I don't know how to use this software, I don't know how to do this. Well, you know, there are YouTube videos for everything. And if you're serious about wanting to put your awesome artwork in a books, respect the buyers enough to take time to learn. And if you really think you can't learn, then you got 2 options. Keep the drawing a hobby, or get somebody else to clean for you, because you need to put out the best possible product and respect the buyers by not putting out dirty drawings. I know it sounds really harsh, but it's the truth. Besides, you know, if you want to be serious about doing something, you have to learn what it takes to get there. And if you're not willing to do that, then there's a very big chance that you won't succeed either way in doing what you know, that you won't even sell any books, because people will be negative about the books, because the bad quality stands out. I mean, you can have the most beautiful drawings and they'll look beautiful on the paper and they'll look beautiful on a photograph, But once they're scanned, all those little imperfections, I mean, now I'm not talking about pretty imperfections, I'm talking about sloppiness and lines not meeting and dirt on the drawing and, you know, that kind of thing. You need to fix that because people will see it, because the scans are unforgiving. Um, and if you don't understand that to begin with and try to do your best there, then, you know, then there's no real reason to go through the whole process of making a book. And that's my honest opinion. And I have helped a lot of artists make books. I've helped them clean their work. I've taught them how to clean their work and gotten them to move on in the right direction. I spent a lot of time doing that to help others. I never charged anybody for it. I always helped. When I saw somebody who needed it, you know, then I would, you know, even if it's somebody who wasn't in Global Doodle Gems or something, if I saw somebody who had beautiful drawings but had not cleaned them, then I would let them know and I would show them how to do it, just to help get the right, you know, results. And if people are willing to do what it takes, then of course, you know, then they deserve it. And some people are not willing to do what it takes, and then afterwards they're complaining that they're not selling or that people don't like their work. No, it's not that people don't like your work. You just didn't give them enough credit, and you didn't give your work enough credit to work it through and figure out what you have to do in order to do this. You know, I mean, there's a doing a coloring book is not just about being good at drawing. It's a big part of it is cleaning and preparing the book. Another big part is marketing, and that's probably the biggest part, is to getting people to notice your book. It's a fierce business, and there's a lot of people in it, and you need to be able to promote your work or to get noticed. And if you're not willing to do those things, then, you know, then maybe it's just better that you draw and have a good time drawing instead of maybe wasting other people's time and your own for nothing. So yeah, that's kind of my opinion, and I have tried, and I do continue to try to help a lot of artists move to that level. I don't have time right now to do it, but I have done for the past 3 years. I spend a lot of time and energy, especially on cleaning for others and helping them to get to a point where they can clean their own drawings. And that takes a lot of time and effort. And I kind of said, okay, now I'm done with it. You know, now if I'm gonna make a book for someone or work with someone, they have to be able to do those essentials themselves for me to take it up, because it's not fair that I sit and spend all my time cleaning, because you should be paid for doing a lot of that. And I sort of said, okay, you know, I will maybe show you on 1 or 2 of your drawings, or I'll take your drawing and look at what you did, and I'll tell you where you can do better or something like that. You know, I'm always in for, you know, to help out and give advice, you know, if I can. I think that's important to be able to do that for others. But I'm not going to go in and clean a whole book for a person anymore. I simply don't have time for that. And if they're not willing to learn, then they probably won't be willing to promote their book either and do the work that it takes. So yeah, I stopped doing all that because it kills my hands, and then it's better that I kill my hands on my own work. It's better to, you know, besides mine don't need a lot of cleaning. That's another thing that, you know, like I tell a lot of the artists is that, you know, if they practice in cleaning their drawings, then eventually they will also be drawing cleaner, and it will be less and less they have to clean. They'll be better at it. So it's a learning process. It was a learning process for me. I mean, I got a shock when I saw my first scans at 600 DPI, and I was like, fuck, that does not look like my drawing. But you know, you get a shock when you see that, and then you got to work on it. And once you've been cleaning them you also will start perfecting drawing them and have less and less to clean. So that's an important part of the process also as a development as an artist, if you want to do this kind of work. So there's a lot of things that go into the process. And I think it's important that new artists who want to go into this kind of business and industry are aware that it's not just about being good at drawing. And it can be that everybody says, oh, your drawings are awesome, they should be in a book. And they probably are on the pictures. They probably also are when you look at them with just your eye on the drawing itself. But once they get scanned, it's brutal. It's really brutal. So you have to accept that and then work with it. And cleaning, like for instance, you might have a line that goes over or one that doesn't touch, and then you might have a smudge from your hand or from the ink, or there can be all kinds of stuff, and you have to clean up those lines. Or some might have a shaky hand, and then you will vector them to have them more regular, the lines, so that they're cleaner and stand out better. Then you have some that will draw up with a pencil, and then they will put a liner, dark liner over the pencil, but they'll forget to erase the pencil, which is then afterwards almost impossible to do digitally. So, that's the kind of thing that needs to be cleaned up to make the drawing look pretty. So there's a lot of things that goes into that, and that's a process. And it's a lengthy process. I remember one artist that made a beautiful, beautiful book. And I said, no problem, because I love the drawings, and I'd seen the pictures and everything, and I wasn't that, I didn't check out the scans before I said it. I said, no problem, I'll clean them for you, and, it will be a lovely book. It took me over 300 hours to clean the drawings for that book. I'll never do that again. Over 300 work hours to clean each and every drawing. And then the person did not promote the book. So I think the book sold like maybe not even 10 copies. So I never even made the investment back. And it's a beautiful book. It's a beautiful, beautiful book. It is a lot of hours work, both in the beautiful drawings that are in there, but in the cleaning work. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Never gonna do that again. So yeah, I've come to a point where I'm now like, I will help you out to learn how to clean it. You'll have to do the work yourself. And I'll not accept it until I think that it's good enough. And that's it. But I will help, make videos where I show where and all that. And so I'm still being helpful. I'm just not being stupid and breaking my hands on doing crazy stuff that I don't really have time for. Yeah, exactly. Or, some might have a very hard hand with the ink, and it will have ink splatters and stuff like that. So there's a lot of things that go into the background of getting a beautiful book out, because it's so those who do make really beautiful books, they have also put a lot of work into the process afterwards, after the drawing. So that takes a lot of time and effort, and sometimes it actually takes longer to clean than it took to draw. So that's the thing that one has to keep in mind, especially if you want to make books. If you're good at drawing and you want to present your work in the best possible way, then you need to learn to clean it. Otherwise, it's a hobby. And it can also be very good to have as a hobby. Nobody says that everything has to be a book or something, There's also drawings that are just not really fitted for it, you know, that you can't clean that nicely. So there's things about that. It's the same thing when I'm looking for a colored piece for a cover. Then I might find a beautiful colored piece, but it's so dirty that I can't really clean it nice enough to make it for the cover, which is sad sometimes. So yeah, there's a lot of things that go into that. It's also why I sometimes will say, well, on this one I don't want a background, or on that one I want, you know, specify what, because somebody might have spent a long time making a beautiful background, but I might not be able to use it for the cover because I can't cut off the background in the way it's made or something like that, you know. So that's something that I usually will mention if I make a cover coloring challenge. I'll mention if I really don't want background, then I'll mention it. So, hi Russ, nice to see you. Hi Joanne, bonjour. Yeah, you know, I think that can also, with the Weirdies, that you can sort of develop your own little color schemes in them and test your colors, and there's a lot of things that you can do with them. And then they're just happy little relaxing things. I'm happy that you're learning from them. That's really nice. So now we've gone through the first 9 colors here. And no, I'm not going to pick out another 9. I'm going to keep this one in these 9 colors because I think it's a nice combination for it. I wish that they had had a lime green. I would have been happy with the lime green, with a real lime green, because the one they have that comes closest to the lime green is called apple green, but it's not a lime green. So and I didn't want to pick that one. So yeah, it's going to be this green. So this is going to be awesome. I had this food tonight. It was really lovely. The meat was just, you know, I cut it in fine slices. I mean, I have to make a blog of the roast beef and how I did it, and with the pictures and everything on my blog. So it will be there. It was very simple. I don't complicate things when it comes to meat. It comes to just frying it up in the right way, and, you know. But it was very tasty. And it's still on account of New Year's and all that. Then they have all these offers in the supermarket where they put the meat down by a lot, the good meat, because nobody's buying it. I think it's something like everybody in Denmark, they want to be like healthy, duh, and they want to, like, you know, every time it's been New Year's, they all go like on a diet or something after Christmas, and I really don't get it. If you just eat normal the whole year, then you don't have a problem. The thing is, you have to get variation and so on into your meals and not obsess about everything. That's at least how I see it. I think the rest is just silly, you know. You just have to have a relaxed relationship to food, and sort of get variation and stuff in there, and not obsess about fats and sugar and all that. It doesn't work anyways. It becomes tedious. So yeah, that's how I see it. You know, food, you know, it has to be nice. It has to taste good. You have to think about getting variation, and then I don't really, you know, sometimes it's fatty, sometimes it's not. But if you just get that variation in, then I think you should be okay. It's worse if you eat excessively healthy, you know, I don't think that that is any fun. It takes out the fun of eating. I mean, of course, some people do obsess about it, and other people don't really care what they eat. Also experience that. That I don't understand at all. You know, the people who don't really care about what they eat. But I think it's just because I've always been obsessed about cooking and quality and doing it artistically in the kitchen. So that's probably why I'm a little bit on products and stuff like that. My arm is a lot better. Yeah, it makes them pop. Backgrounds, we'll do that one day. We'll do backgrounds one day because I have some funny things for backgrounds. And I have a really awesome set, well, I think it's called Shimmer Shine. That I got all the way from, I don't remember, it was New Zealand or Australia. And these are like perfect for backgrounds. And I have some pastel chalks. So we can get into backgrounds one day just for fun. Hi Rose, hi Manuela, nice to see you guys. So yeah, we can get into backgrounds one day. We'll do something with, if there's something with a nice background, we'll do some background thing because it can be fun. I like to get smudgy in there with my fingers and stuff. Always ends up being a mess, but we'll definitely get in there with some backgrounds one day when I feel like it. When I move on to getting more into the pastel markers, just, you know, I have to get, well, I have to, the arm at least has to be better before I will do any colored pencils or anything like that, because I don't get as much of a strain using the markers. And I do, I mean, I love markers, so I'm a marker girl. But I also do love colored pencils, and now I did print all of these, so if I'm taking anything out with water, it will be next month if I have the right paper to print on. Then I might print a few of them on some watercolor paper so that we can try to, you know, get into Inktense, and I have some others that I have to some woodless ones that are aquarelle, and I have some other aquarelle sets that I would like to try out, and some brushes and stuff. So definitely we will get in there. I just have to feel a little bit secure about it, and then I need to have the right paper, because with this paper it would just, you know, crumble up if I start with the water on them, and that would not be fun. This is pretty. I like it. This rainbow is going really well. And I was so unlucky that I ruined one of Victoria's drawings today. Well, I didn't actually ruin it. She came and asked me, how do you write this title or something? She wanted like Boss and the Missing Bone. So I guess the theme of her, she's making a book for one of her friends. She always makes books for her friends. I think she's inspired by me. So she will sit down and she'll make a whole series of drawings that she thinks her friend will like, you know, like it will be in a theme that if the person likes Star Wars, it will be Star Wars, or if it's Pokemon, then she'll make a Pokemon book, and you know, all kind of themes that she thinks that the person will like, and then she'll make like 20 pages of drawings, and then they can color it and she'll give it to them. But this one obviously had a title, so she came and she asked, how do I write that? So I took a piece of paper and I wrote it down for her so that she could copy it. And then she's like, I didn't mean like that. I don't write that pretty. You're supposed to write it for me on the paper. But she didn't say that before until after she tried to write it and it went bad. And then it turned out that it was my fault that it went totally wrong, because I should have written it from the first place. So I was laughing about that. Yeah, we'll be doing that. Eyeshadows also. I can do all the different techniques. I just really like to color flat because I like that uniform yeah, result. So I'll definitely say that I'm more of a flat colorist, um, but I do know how to make the different effects, and I do it on some of the drawings, and I will be, you know, I think when we moved into colored pencils and we get further along, I mean, we have a whole year, so there's plenty of time to do the different things. Then I will take up some different techniques as well, you know, and show them and try them, but it has to feel right on the piece I'm working on. Otherwise, I won't be able to do it in a nice way. So I have to, first of all, be in the mood. I have to be in the mood for it, and it has to feel right with the drawing. But definitely I'll try to get into different things, and mainly also into different materials, just so you can see and get inspired also by, you know, like, okay, this seems like a material I might like, or something like that, you know. So you don't have to go out and buy something, and then, you know, you can see what I work with, and then you can sort of say, oh, that might be for me, or that might not be for me, and find your own version of it. Because it can be really hard to make decisions, especially on coloring things, because there's such an abundance of things out there. Yeah, faces. I hate skin colors. Coloring coach. Yeah, I don't know. I'll try. I'll even try skin one day. I'll even try it one day, but it will have to be like, I don't know. I really hate skin. And it's not because I hate coloring skin or all the tones and everything. It's just, but it was in art school, so I've done it, an abundance of it. But it's just because I really hate the skin colors, the skin tones. So that's why I just like to go out of the box there and give them funky colors instead. Well, you can also have something like clouds and skies and water, and there's a lot of different things that you can do, especially also on backgrounds and on blending. Definitely. So yeah. But I also like to show you like some really simple stuff you can do just to get a nice big effect, you know, like sometimes you don't need to do all the complicated things, you know, sometimes it's just a little simple thing you can do that will give it that extra effect. Now, you know, yeah, with my coloring here like this flat, then you don't get that, but we'll get there at some point. Some point I'll venture in. I'm just always a little bit afraid of doing it, because what if it goes wrong and then you all think I suck, you know? I have to get my head around it. Not that I'm really afraid that it'll go wrong. If it goes wrong, it just goes wrong, and it goes to show that it doesn't always go perfect, even if you plan it. So it's no real harm done. So yeah, I'll do some of that eventually. This is lovely. Yeah, I'm enjoying these colors a lot. I enjoy working with them. I don't know which would be my perfect markers. It's hard to choose because I love all of those alcohol markers that I've been using here, and I love them each for different reasons. So that's hard to choose. But if I one day get to try the chameleons, I want to try that once. Then I might have found my favorites probably, because they have so many colors, and I love the idea of that, all those shades. But I do think that What is my most go-to? Well, my most go-to is the cheap ones. They have a few advantages. The first one, they're cheap. The second one, they're cheap. And the third one, they're cheap. Then they have the advantage that the color palette is very limited, which means that it's not that difficult to choose which colors to use. So you have sort of a help in actually choosing them. And you don't have to be worried that you're going to run out, because since they're cheap, you can have doubles. So there's a lot of advantages to them. The other ones, I tend to worry if I'm going to run out, because I'd hate to run out of the color in the middle of coloring. That would be just awful, you know, that would stop the whole process. And yeah, that's a nasty thought. So so I probably have to go to say that my favorites are the cheap ones, because I have less worries with them. Of course, with these ones, with the chameleons, because I do have the refills, I'm less worried about running out. Slightly worried about trying to refill. That will probably be a mess, and maybe you'll see my hands having different colors for days because I spilled all the ink over my fingers or something like that stupid. But but you know, it's a less of a worry. Whereas I know that if I run out on the style file or on the letter set, I don't have a replacement, and I can't just go buy a replacement because they cost a lot of money, and that bugs me, because I hate to run out of a color, you know. So that's probably, you know, that's why I'm not using my Shinhan Touch, because I love those markers. I have very few of them, very few colors. I have a set of grays, but I don't have a lot of colors, because I only could afford to buy like 5 or 6 of them. So well, I don't know, but it's not a lot. But I'm a little bit afraid of using them, exactly because of that thing about running out. So I have used them and to some degree on my bigger work, and that's why I'm even more afraid that I'll run out, because I know that I already used up quite a lot of ink from them. But they're beautiful. I have the Shinhan Touch that I have are the black ones, and they're really, really awesome also. And they do have refills. You can get refills for them. And I have the refills for 4 of the colors that I used a lot on one drawing, on one big piece. So I guess I could always refill those 4 colors. But yeah, but they're beautiful colors, beautiful markers. Fairies. Exactly, not regular skin tones, Julie. That's how I do it. Yeah, I don't like bodies and faces either, unless I can do them out of the box colors. Hi, Carol. Nice to see you, and good morning to you, and welcome. It's the Tiger Twin markers. I get 3 for 20 kronas here, which is probably $3 something, around there. So they're pretty affordable compared. I mean, you get 3 for less than what you get one of most of the other markers for. The other markers, they go up to about double the price for one marker of what I get 3. So actually I can probably buy 6 of my cheap alcohol markers for the same price as one of the other markers. So that's my cheap tiger markers. And since they're limited, there's not a lot of colors. It is also limited how much money you can spend on them. So that is definitely go-to for me. There's a lot of markers I haven't tried. And there's also a lot I have tried, and a lot have ended up in Victoria's marker stash. I think she's got probably the biggest stash of markers and pencils and crayons and I don't know what. Because if I get some markers and I don't really like them, then she will gladly take over, and then she'll pull them out when she get her friends visiting, and then they can play with them if they're coloring or something like that. And then when she's here at home and it's just me and her, then she will use the cheap ones that I have, because yeah, she will use them. She likes that. And the other ones she will pull out when it's her friends are over, and because some of them don't have the same control over pressure and stuff and might break them, then it's better that she pulls those out there and not mine. But she doesn't do that. She only does that when it's her here with me, then she knows she can take them and it's okay. She's good with them. She doesn't break anything. She's careful with materials and yeah, careful with everything actually. She's a very careful person. Also there's the below. Those I don't really, I don't really think, I think they're streaky. I also had the Caran d'Ache markers, watercolor markers, and I didn't really like those either. And they were pricey, but I didn't really like them. So Victoria has taken them over. So yeah, I'm a bit picky when it comes to the quality, because I do need, the quality of the finished product to be good. If I'm gonna use it in an expo or frame it or something, then I wouldn't want to have, go down on the quality of the material I used. So yeah, in that sense, I am picky, especially if they streak. If they streak, I'm just like, it's not for me. I can't work with it. And then I do even expensive materials. And I think it's because of the water-based markers, they streak more. And that was what I talked about yesterday, about maybe trying to figure out if it might be because of my paper choice. Maybe I should just choose a different paper for those to see if they don't streak on that. So I'll try to look into that by asking around. I'm sure that in the art shop they'll give me a recommendation, and then I'll see if it actually works or not, and then I'll make my decision out of that. Because usually they don't really know. A few knows what they talk about, but there's a lot of people who work in shops where they actually have no clue about what they're working with, and they'll just recommend anything to sell, which is pretty annoying. But you can usually tell if it's somebody who really knows what they're talking about when you get into a shop, because they'll be slightly more passionate, and they might also show you cheaper products that can do the same, where somebody who just wants to try to sell you anything. And some people are great at selling anything. So, loopholes. This is looking good. It's shaping up, being nice colors. And of course taking time as usual. It always takes time to get the right results. Where do you live, Kat? Because I don't know if they're available where you are. Exactly. I think it depends on what your purpose with coloring is, because some people just want to color and have fun, and they will put it in a file, in a folder, and maybe just look at it sometimes, and other people will color it in order to frame it, and it depends what you're using it for, the coloring experience. When I do it, I use it as a part of my art, because I'm coloring my art. So then it's my originals, and that's why they would you know, I prefer good materials because they are also kept better. They will stay light fast, you know, they will not deteriorate as fast. So it sort of depends what you're using it for, because if you're just gonna like color in the book and keep your colors in there, then you might work perfectly well with a cheaper material that might not be light fast, but it won't really matter that much because it's not going to be hanging behind glass on the wall. It's going to stay in the book and it will be protected by the pages. So and then of course there's the whole issue of what can your wallet do. You know, if coloring is a hobby that you have, you also have to sort of organize your materials after your wallet, and there's lots of cheap materials that will do perfectly well. And everybody has the different preferences, you know, for what materials they like to work with. So yeah, and any material can be worked well if you know how to use it and you practice with it. No, I don't do that. I would do that if I'm making a book where I'm making a front or something that is just going to be for a scrapbook or something. But if I'm going to do something where I scan it to make posters or stickers or something like that, then embellishing and glitter will be a no-go, same as glitter pens, gel pens, or neon colors. Anything that I need to scan, no glitter, no neon, because they don't scan well, and it won't look good in the scan. So I wouldn't use that on something that I need to scan. I would maybe use it on other stuff that wouldn't need to be scanned. So I'm not saying that I wouldn't use it at all. I'm just saying that it depends what you're using, what you are using it for. And since most of mine, you know, like these that I'm coloring now with you guys, I will scan all of them. And I do really hope that I can find somewhere where I could make an exposition with all the 366 Weirdies colored. But like I talked about before, that it would probably not be difficult to find a place, but it will be difficult for me to afford it because they will probably want them framed. So unless I can find a place where they will sponsor the framings, then it will probably be one of those things that will be difficult to get done. Because even if I buy the cheapest frames, I still can't see myself affording to buy 366 frames for them. So that could be something that would, you know, make it not possible for me to realize to do that. But if I can find a place where they are willing to help me frame them, and then they could be for sale with the frames, and they could, you know, if they sold, they could get refunded the frame cost. You know, I would be more than glad to do that. But I don't know. It would probably have to be some public place or something like that. I don't know. But where they would have a budget that would allow them to help with the framing, because there's definitely an expense that I wouldn't be able to afford. So yeah, but it could be like really, really cool. Like if there was a place with lots of long hallways, long, boring, empty corridors, to fill the whole place up for a whole year with Weirdies. It could be really cool to have an opening where I could also sell the Weirdie books, so that everybody could color Weirdie. I mean, that could be pretty awesome, and I would love to do that. Oh, the Tombos, I haven't tried them. I really want to try them, but they are so expensive here. And I have seen people who colored with Tombos where I saw that it was streaky, in my opinion. Yeah, you can laminate them, but I don't really want to laminate my originals. I laminate, for instance, like if I do from my Xmas ornaments, or I do from the egg books. I can cut them out and laminate them and use them as decorations, you know, take 2 different ones on each side, and then, you know, I'll cut them out and laminate them also for gift tags and stuff like that. Then I will laminate. But for a big one like this, I would never laminate that, because it's an original hand-colored piece. But you know, if it's a small thing that can be used as an ornament on the tree, like I have made lots of ornament books and gift tag books and egg books and yeah, all these kind of books, and they are absolutely meant to be cut out and laminated and used as decorations. So in those respects, I will do it. I wouldn't recommend getting too thick paper. I think this blue pad is just about the thickest that I would put in my printer, because some printers do get used to the thick paper and then they won't print nicely on the thin paper afterwards. Printers are tricky. Tricky little bastards, are they? But you know, like you can get watercolor paper that's not too thick, and this blue pad that is more all round. And of course, marker paper is not thick at all. In some instances, it feels a lot thinner than actually regular copy paper. The most important thing when you choose a paper is to find a paper that won't eat up the ink of your markers, because that is horrible. So don't always think that, you know, just as if it's thick and sturdy, you have to think about how much it eats, and also the surface of the paper, if it's textured, or I mean, I like my surface to be smooth for most things. Yeah, for most things I do like a smooth surface. Also, mainly the smooth surfaces won't eat as much ink, whereas you might have slight textures but not too textured if you're going for watercolors. But try to take one that is not too rough, you know. On the tag books, I made 24 for Christmas. Was for a bookshop that thought it could be a nice gimmick, and they're not the same. They're all different patterns inside, and half of them are sort of ornaments, but half of those ornaments can be used out of Christmas, like, you know, their hearts or other things. So you can use them as gift tags or ornaments outside of Christmas. And the gift tags are half of them. There's like 15 each. So there's 25 gift tags and there's 25 ornaments in each book. No, 24 and 24, sorry. It all goes in 24 with that one. But the gift tags itself is pure patterns. So there is nothing specifically Christmassy about those tags. So I would say that 75% of those gift tag books, ornamental, I think they're called ornamental gift tags, 75% of those are definitely not seasonal and will be able to use any time of the year for any kind of gifts, because, you know, if it's just a pattern, then you kind of control the theme with your colors. And then, of course, there's a few Christmas trees and a reindeer, and there's a few bulbs and stuff like that, you know, but mainly, yeah, 75% you can use all year round. So that's the answer to that. Because I usually think about having a use for it the whole year round and not just for Christmas. It just fitted with coming out for Christmas, as many are doing tags there. But it's definitely usable all year round and for all occasions, as it's not really that themed. Whereas the big little book of Xmas ornaments is totally themed, and they're not like gift tags, but you could also use those for gift tags. But but you can also use them for decorations and cut out for making decorations even for the tree or for mobiles and stuff like that. But they are just explicit Christmas all the way through, much more. So, and the eggs, I mean, you don't only have eggs for Easter, but of course they are very much in the run for Easter, and where those could be fun to, you know, like sit and have a family fun and color. These are more like, you know, for the whole family to color. They are complicated and they are easily simple, and there's things you can work on that the kids can even continue to draw on, or, you know, it's for the whole family. But then you could have family fun, sitting, coloring eggs and making them, and, you know, then you can laminate them and make the egg hunt with them. So, you know, there's a lot of uses for that, where you can go in and use them differently. And I am thinking to make a bookmarks book as well at some point, but I have so many plans, so I have to take it little by little. Little by little. Bits and pieces at a time. Is anyone coloring also tonight while we are chatting and having fun time here while I'm coloring? And did you remember to get your book for tomorrow, your page for tomorrow? It's up there. I can't share it as much. I just put it up on the page, and then Heather will put it up on the Color Weirdie Day. So, but they do get put up every day. I actually already put up the 11th, but I haven't put up the post with it yet. But I will be doing that later, so that you can go in and get it, and grab it. And I didn't get those taken down that we did in December yet, so there's still time to grab them. I will as soon as I have the rest of the stuff ready. But so there's still a chance to grab those, and before they become part of a set that costs money. So, and of course, yeah, if you can leave a tip, that will help me. So this is awesome. It's looking good. Let me see what, I don't remember what weight this is. If you want to get something that's a little bit more fatty, this is a glue pad. This one is 170 grams. So if you want to get a good one, this is the one that I use for drawing. That's 170 grams, but between 90 and 170 grams, 110 grams will do it too. Oh, you're following me. Ah, that's great. Just as long as you're having fun, it doesn't matter if you're doing one thing or the other. Awesome, Tina. It won't let you get the picture ahead of time. I don't understand why it won't let you get the picture. Do you go in on the PayHip to download it, Patricia? Oh, how are you finding those from the Mephisto Dark Side? Because I really love them, and they are really, really great for also using pastel pencils and chalks. They're really awesome for finger coloring a lot too, I think. And they're also great for slight little gel pens or things that like really stand out against the dark background. Like I think luminance, they're great for anything with a dark background because they color really well on black. Luminance, yeah. We'll have to try that. Then I'll have to do it in one of the books, I think. See, I'm spitting. It's a really nasty thing. Why am I spitting so much when I'm talking? Strange. There's something you notice if you're coloring and talking, that the little spit ends up on your colored piece. That's not good. This is gonna be awesome. And you see now we are closing in. We've closed off a few places, so it's tightening in there. But it's getting very pretty. The colors are very strong. They're very vivid. They're very clean, and that's sort of the look I was going for. Ah, those sounds nice. I haven't tried those Spielerfarben. Sounds nice. Awesome. Yeah, they're totally, there's nothing like the Mephisto. I have not seen any books like my Mephisto books at all. And they're very different. Yeah, they're very different. But how do you find this with the finding, you know, what you see in them? Is that working for you? Is that fun, Julie? Because I think that that's also part of the fun, to find out what you see in that moment and then work from that. Or that was kind of part of my idea. But, you know, I don't know if it works for others and for me. But I was always thinking that these could be like sort of a great in-depth exercise in yourself. And maybe, you know, yeah, because of what you see in them or what you get out. They're definitely very, very, very different from anything out there. I was actually talking to my dad's sister is a psychotherapist, I think it's called. Not a psychologist, a psychotherapist. I think there's some kind of distinctions between them. And I have no idea what the distinctions are. But she was like thinking that they were very, very interesting for patients. Yeah, I saw that too. She actually also wrote me a personal message that she was using them and that she found them very useful, and that I think that was pretty awesome. And I think, you know, more therapists should maybe open their eyes to using color book pages as therapy, because a lot of people will find a relaxation and a meditation that will bring them into a more peaceful state. I think part of the challenge is also finding something that might open up people more, and that's why, you know, I'm working on those, you know, that will go in and be sort of like auto therapy, like, but, you know, not a replacement of therapy, but something that can help on the way. And that was what I was also thinking, that the Mephistos could sort of, you know, bring you into a deeper or closer state to yourself, because of you will see things that you probably might relate to unconsciously. And the positivity twisters are sort of supposed to go in and help you build your auto-esteem, self-esteem, and love for yourself and appreciation for yourself. So, you know, I like to work on something where I think it might, I mean, it's not like it's going to have a guaranteed effect or something, you know, but, you know, it might help some people. Yeah, buttery smooth. That's really awesome. Yeah, what on earth have I gotten into? That was what Johanna told me. She was like, I don't know what to do with these. Exactly. That's what I wanted to hear, if you're starting to see things and it's changing. Because I think once you you sort of like, you fall into it and you start to see things that it would develop. That's what Johanna also said. Yeah. I think, you know, the Mephistos, I think that if people color them, I think that those emotions that are maybe subconscious that will come out in what they see and what they will emphasize would maybe be able to help a therapist to look deeper. I mean, was kind of one of my ideas on those books. And to be sort of a series that could go in combination with, for instance, if, you know, you might have patients who have a difficult time talking, or might not even be aware of what their real issues are. So I'm thinking that if you get in deep with something like that, where you have to sort of find what you see in the picture, then maybe that could give a therapist some help in seeing some deeper issues, or some things that are hidden. That's kind of like my thought, therapy-wise, with the Mephisto books. That it could be, but it could also be that oneself afterwards, maybe not like straight afterwards, but maybe like a couple of weeks afterwards, when you look at it again after coloring it, can see, oh, I was in that state of mind, and this was what I was seeing, and, you know, in that way, that respect, maybe even see something yourself in it. But after a while, you know, not right away, revisiting it could maybe bring out something. I don't know. It's just my thought. I know I'm slightly wacky. That's who I am. I'm slightly wacky. I have strange ideas, and of course I'm not a therapist or a licensed doctor or anything, so I can't say that anything will work. I'm just saying that, you know, it might be a help to some. And it might be utterly ridiculous to others, and then they should dismiss it and do something else if they feel like that. But, you know, it can also just be fun coloring, and a challenge, definitely a challenge, because there's nothing like them at all. So it can work in different ways, both the bright side and the dark side. I do think that the dark side is harder than the bright side. I think the bright side might be easier. But yeah, well, it depends. It's a personal thing too. I do like the way that things stand out on the dark side, because it really stands out in a different way. And you can play a lot with it. I mean, you can really play. It's just lovely. Tina, I'm sorry, I don't think we're going to finish before 12. It's not going to be happening. No, I'm taking too long in coloring, and I'm talking too much. But I like talking, so I've gotten to enjoy our adult talks, because it's so rare that I have adult talks. Well, the talks with my daughter are getting better, you know, but it's not adult talk, it's a kids talk. And my dad, he doesn't really speak, so that's more like practical thought. There is no more double cream, there is no more butter. You know, that's the kind of talk that he talks. And not really anything else, mainly. He had said today that he wasn't gonna eat. He didn't feel like eating. So I said to my daughter, go in and tell him to come out and have a look at the sauce, because the sauce is so good. I know he loves double cream sauce, you know, like this is really fatty. And with all the juices from the roast beef, it was like, and also because I fried up those shallot onions in the butter before I put the roast beef in, it was just like so rich and so good. So he was like, no, I think maybe I'll have a little bit anyways. He had a lot. So that was good. At least he ate something, and Victoria ate something, and I have pictures to make a a foodie blog, so that is good. Have to get prepared. New season of Steam It Iron Chef is starting on Friday. We'll get the very first theme of the new season. And I think at that point I'll make a decision if I'm in for the new season or not. But I have a feeling that I'm probably in for it because I love the challenge. And I also love, that it gives me that possibility that once a week I make something that I create with all my creative kitchen skills. And I don't care if anybody else wants to eat it. It's just, my creation and I can eat it. Because all the days, every day, I always cook to the taste and likes of Victoria and my dad, which are not exactly what I want. I like to do something that's more out of the box, but they won't eat it. So, yeah, like a tool. Yeah. Cathartic. Yeah, I don't know what cathartic means. Yeah, try one. Exactly, it is a therapy because you start thinking deeper. I think the Weirdie can help with stress because they just take your mind off of things and it's just funny. Yep. On the dark side, the background is black. On the bright side, the background is white and the colors are sort of blackish, grayish. Yeah, nice being done before 2, 3 a.m. I think we'll be done before 1 a.m. maybe. Oh, how do you cook the roast, Beverly? Yeah, it's food art, definitely. Oh no, your internet went out. Oh, I hate that. I actually got the message from my internet provider that my internet was out half of the day. So that was good. That was when I was asleep. Because I went to sleep 8:30 this morning and slept until 12:30. So I had a nice sleep there. But it turned out that my internet was actually off for hours and hours without me realizing it. So that was nice. Then I wasn't frustrated because if I had realized it, I would have been horribly frustrated and thinking, oh no, because I really hate it when that happens. I'd be like, ah, ah. But it doesn't happen a lot. And I make sure that I got the wire in, the cable in for when I do the live videos. Because if I don't have, then it can go out, if there's just the Wi-Fi. But usually I'm never really cut off. I think I've only been cut off like once or twice, like really cut off. Because I do have a different mobile provider than my internet provider, because my internet provider is the same as a tele, and my mobile provider is different. So I do have a backup that I can hook up through my phone if my Wi-Fi provider is out, the one that I have in the house. And then I have a third backup. I live over the library, and they obviously have a different provider than me, because sometimes if mine is out, I can still log on the library's Wi-Fi because I live right on top of them. So I can actually log on, but their internet sucks, to be honest. It's not fast at all, so I rarely do so. Only in a total emergency situation I'll do that. But it's a quirk. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Kat. Now I understand the word. I think I heard it before, but it wasn't one that had stuck in my vocabulary. Ah, this is awesome. And it's our 9th day. Tomorrow will be 10 days into Color a Weirdie a day. 10 first days will have passed. It's quite epic. I mean, this is going to be an epic thing. If you know, going through a whole year of Weirdies, that will be like crazy. And all the, I mean, that's the funny thing with the Weirdies. They are all different. They're all like, they're not two Weirdies that are the same. And even all the new Weirdies that I've drawn, I have drawn quite a lot. I had a lot that I had drawn before, and I'm drawing them again because now I'm getting inspired by coloring the old Weirdies. So I'm drawing up new Weirdies, you know, 1 or 2 a day. Yesterday I didn't draw any because I didn't have a drawing time and I was relaxing the arm, and then I drew the little positivity twisters live. But today I drew the one that I think I'll take out for Valentine's, and then I've started on another one that I actually really want to finish because it's so interesting and different, and I think my daughter will love it because she loves every time it's a little bit like octopusy with all the arms, and this one is definitely going octopusy all over the place. And it's got so many arms and so many swirly whirly things in between, and even though that sounds complicated, it's not, because it's actually quite simple. It doesn't have any lines yet. It only has like arms and stuff, and not really a lot of lines yet. That will come after, and I'm not sure how many lines that one would actually have. I don't think it will have a lot, like, you know, Mr. Squiggly, but totally out of, it's not like Mr. Squiggly, but some parts of it might be in that department. If you colored Mr. Squiggly with me. If you didn't, you'll be like, who's Mr. Squiggly? But Mr. Squiggly is still on the pay hip, so he's not lost to you yet. I haven't taken them down yet because I want to prepare the extra pictures I want to put in. I already have scanned all the colored, and they are kind of prepared. But the other ones that I'll put in, and I think I'll put in quite a lot because I have a lot that I drew, so that it will become a big set of something, you know, of all kinds of different things. You know, it's not going to be like a Weirdie set, or there's gonna be this artist series in there. There's going to be some of the leafy ones. There's going to be some mandala ones. It's just going to be like a mix-up, because I don't really have anything out where it's really a mix-up of my stuff, of different stuff. So I think it could be fun to have it like a little bit of a mix-up where you can get a taste of a few different things that I do. So I might even throw in some different things, just, you know, just to, yeah, you know, have a taster book where you can sort of explore a little bit some of my different, but I have a new drawings for it. And then I might take, you know, a few interesting pieces. I don't know exactly how yet, but I'm just thinking that it could probably be fun to have a sort of flavors of Maria with some of the different styles and stuff that I do venture into. So that might be interesting also for some to get to sort of see which one of her books might I like. You know, that could be probably pretty funky, you know. Have a few patterns, have a few mandalas, I don't know, yeah. We'll see, we'll see, we'll see. And that definitely, that crazy Weirdie, that one is going in there. The totally crazy one. That one was so fun. So I think, you know, what I'm going to do with this, I'm just going to have a look. I want to have a look at the one for tomorrow because I think I already have a plan of what I'd want to do. Yeah, that sounds weird, doesn't it? I have a plan. I normally don't have a plan before until I get on. But I'm like thinking of developing, you know, like expanding this the color range that I use today for tomorrow with some in-betweens for tomorrow's coloring. I just have to get the one for tomorrow and see, because I think I'm going to do that. Because I think that could be kind of nice after we have this one, and then just to see how it will be when we have in-betweens. Because I think there's a lot of lines in the one for tomorrow, if I remember correctly. I'm just going to get it because I can't wait. Yeah, definitely a lot of lines. Yeah. Definitely, that could be really, really fun. You know, it's this one for tomorrow. And you can see that's like, there's like that, at least 2 bull heads, but there's other horns there. So yeah, I think that that will be a plan for tomorrow, that I'll expand on this color range, putting in betweens. That way I will also find my perfect combo in this set. So we got that here. I think that will be really nice. So I think we'll just expand on it. That's the plan. Unless I change my mind tomorrow, of course, which is very likely to happen. But right now is a plan in my head, and it sounds good to me, actually. It sounds like it would be a viable, fun thing to do. Also to get to even, you know, I want to get familiar with the colors, especially also before I start using the color tops. I want to be, you know, really into all the colors and distinguish them from each other, and get that down, so that when I start with the color tops, I know which ones that I want to mix it up with, because there's a complete set of color tops for it. And the color top mixing is kind of like the tip to tip, but just a more professional way, a less DIY way. So I'm looking really much forward to doing that. But I want to get very familiar with all the colors in the set before I do that, so that I can mix them up in the nicest way possible. Oh, that sounds nice, Beverly. It sounds like a nice method. I would want to try that. Thank you, Danny. I would want to try your method for sure. Ah, awesome, Kat. That sounds really nice. Then you like the Positivity Twisted Chill Pill book I'm working on, and the Mephistos maybe, because that's more focused on a therapeutic side of coloring as well. Well, all coloring can be therapeutic, and mandalas and starting from the center and focusing out and spreading out like that. But both the Positivity Twisted Chill Pills and the Mephisto books are meant for getting even deeper into into a sort of therapeutic use of coloring, but deeper than just regular coloring. On a PayHip, you go to whatever you want to buy in there. From the PayHip link, there's a link in the description to the page of today. You click on that link, then you go into the page, then you click buy now. And since it's set at 0, you can add a tip if you like, or you can just keep it at 0, and then you say buy now, and then you will get a download link, and it will ask you for your email, and then you'll get a download link, and you'll get a download link sent to your email as well. And if you're paying, you can pay with PayPal. So that's sort of how it works in there. But you'll get instructions once you press the buy now. And there's no real risk in pressing buy now if it's the ones that are at 0, because you're not buying. If it's set at 0, then there's nothing to pay for. If you, for instance, add $1, then you'll see what you have to go through to pay. I don't know if you have PayPal. If you have, you can use that. I've never actually tried buying. So I don't know if they have, what other options they do have in there. But the ones that are set at 0, you just hit buy now, and then you have to enter your email. And then you will get an email with a download link, but you'll also get a direct download link on the PayHip page right away. So there will be 2 different options for the download. You can use both or just use one of them. You know, one is sufficient. You only need to download the page once. Once it's downloaded and you've saved it, you can print it more times. I mean, I'm starting to think that some of you might think that you can only download it once or print it once for each download, because I see quite a lot that have taken the same page like 4 or 5 times. I know that there's a limit in there where they will stop if you've taken it over the, I don't know what the limit, maybe the limit is 5 times you can download the same thing. But you know, if you get a problem with that and you need to download it again because you didn't save it to your desktop or wherever you save to, then you just let me know that you can't download it. Then I will go in and reset your account. If you give me your email, then I can go in and reset it so that you can download it again. So I was thinking, sometimes I was thinking, oh, maybe people are forgetful. They don't remember which one they took and which one they didn't. But then I'm thinking maybe there's also some who think that you can only print it once for each time that you downloaded it. I was thinking maybe that is why. But the thing is, once you have it downloaded and you've saved it, then you can print it as many times as you like, as long as you're not abusing the copyright on it. A weirdie on a weirdie on a weirdie, yes. 2 giggies. Yeah, the bullheads are really, I mean, I love those. I love that drawing also. It's a funny one. It sounds really good. Ah, you missed the scan, I know that. And yeah, 2 giggies. Giggling. Chill pill book, yeah. I already made the Twisted Chill Pill books, but this one is going to be with positive mantras for people to repeat to themselves why they're coloring it, and hopefully that will help them build their auto-esteem subconsciously also while they are coloring, as maybe it will stay more inside because you're completing it while you're meditative coloring, something like that. So that's, I already have the Twister Chill Pill, the Twister book Chill Pill 1 and the Twister book Chill Pill 2. And there's a Twister Dollar and pocket twisters. But the new one is going to be with a positivity twisters, so there will be added positive mantras for one to contemplate while coloring the twister. And they're supposed to be sort of daily ones. So they're not very big. They're only 5 by 5 inches each drawing. I drew them live. I drew 2 of them live yesterday for that collection. And then the idea is simply you read the mantra of that day, and then you take like 20 minutes, half an hour to color the twister, or an hour, whatever you need to color it. But since it's not big, I don't think it's going to be excessively long time you'll need for it, because it also needs to be something that you can actually do, you know. If I make something where it will take like 4 or 5 hours to color it, then it's not a really feasible daily thing. So that's why they're small. And also I thought you can bring them along, you can, you know, there's options. I mean, it's not like people have to do it every day, but you know, it could be something that people choose to do for a period of time, maybe just to, you know, like if you do a meditative tapes or something, then it's good to repeat it for some days. So, you know, that's sort of like the idea that you can sort of go through these mantras and build yourself day by day and get stronger like that. So that's sort of the idea of that. Oh, have a lovely dinner. The books are available. Some of the books are available on the PayHip, and other books, all my books except for 2 are available on Amazon. But it depends if you like to have printed books, or if you like to have PDF books, if you like to print yourself, or you like to have a book in hand. So it sort of depends on your preference, Patricia. But there are quite a few available on the PayHip. So if you go to like the main page of PayHip, if you just press on like under the title of the page of today, then it will say AMVWR. And if you press on that, you get to the main page where you have all the listings. And if there's no picture with the listing, it's because there's a video look through of the book where you can see all the pictures of the book if you click on it. And that's where you can get them on the PayHip. And if you want them on Amazon, then you can go to my album here on the page. And there's an album with 80 pictures in it. And those are all the covers of the books that I have on Amazon so far. And in the description of each of those, there are links directly to Amazon where to get it. And in the comments, I've also added links to the video previews and look-throughs, and to blogs written about them, so you can get more information, or if there's been colored videos with them or something like that. All that info is in the comments, but the link to the book, the picture in the photo album is the picture of a cover, and then in the description there's a link to where to get it on Amazon.com. But you can always look for the title on Amazon Germany or UK. I don't recommend particularly buying my books on Amazon Germany, because some of them will be printed in Poland. And it's come to my attention that the books that are printed in Poland are of an inferior quality of paper as towards of the books that are printed in the UK and in the United States. But I've even been aware that there are even different qualities within the United States, which is kind of really annoying, depending on where they're printed, because one would assume that Amazon and CreateSpace would make sure that at least the same quality paper is used. Good night, Beverly. Enjoy your dinner. Yeah. So that I hope that that information helps. You might have to go a little bit, like, you know, if you're on my page and you want to see where the books are on Amazon, you click on photos, then you click on albums, and then you click on see all albums, and then there's one that's called My Books, and that one will have 80 pictures inside. I think it's 80. See, that's my little spit dribbles. It's not really cool, is it? Shh. Pretty annoying. Spit dribbles. You can't have that on this colored. I mean, that's totally out of place. So yeah, I'll have to practice and not spitting while I'm talking. Now I'm just thinking about all the people that I've stand in front of and talked to, and I never noticed that I was spitting. Darn. Maybe I don't spit all the time. Maybe it's just when I'm talking, and coloring. So this is going to be neat. Nope, it's not always the same. And that is pretty frustrating, because when I order proof copies, I order from the US, which is really expensive, but that's where I have to order from. And so I always get the same quality books, because they're all printed on the same plant when I order them. So when there were some people complaining about the quality, I was like, what? And then I tried to order a book from the German Amazon, and I could see that book was printed in Poland, and they definitely used some paper that was less. It was a lesser quality, and it was not as great for. I mean, it was not impossible, but it was just not as great. And I do think I have had a few issues of books printed in France too, where there's been issues, but that's more been like issues with the mistakes inside and cutting the covers wrong, and yeah, you know, there's been issues. But when I've complained about it, the Amazon, you know, the thing is, if the buyer complains to me, I can do nothing, because I'm not producing the book. Amazon or Create Space is producing the book. So I can just, of course, if I know, then I will write them. But any buyer would have to write them directly and tell them about the problem as well. I mean, the best thing is if both I and the buyer can write them, because then they become more aware of the issue, if there is an issue. I have to say that it's maybe 3 times in 3 years that I've had an issue. So that's not a lot. And Amazon have always been straight on replacing the books, and no problems, no issues, no nothing. And they even told me that the one problem that I had in France, that they canceled that place to print books any further for them. So, you know, they do something if we say it. So yeah, that's kind of the things, but normally I think that Create Space paper can go with any materials, except for maybe heavy watercolors. You can use, if you use just a little bit of water, but very little, and then you have to wait for it to dry. But we have tested it. Johanna has tested it on all kinds of materials, and it worked out great, because I was trying to figure out which was the best place to print them to get the best quality. And I tried with Ingram, because they have 2 different options, where the one is supposed to be thicker paper. And I tried with Lulu, because Lulu you can get spiral bound, which is awesome. But the thing is, the price point of a book, if I do it with Lulu, is too high. It's simply too high to get the spiral bound, and the quality difference is nothing. It's the same thickness paper. The one thing I will say about Lulu is that it's a slightly brighter white than the Create Space. A slightly brighter white, but that's it. But instead of a book costing $9.99, if I make it on Lulu with a spiral binding, it will cost $17.99. So you're almost doubling the price, and nobody's willing to pay that price. So in that respect, Lulu is a no-go. Besides, it doesn't get as much, it's not as easy exposure as Amazon. And also it's British, so you know it's not worth it, mainly, you know, for Americans and other world, you know, like other countries and stuff. So yeah, Lulu was out very quickly, even though that they had very lovely bright paper and I could spiral bound it. And I do know that all colorists will say they prefer the really thick paper, they want it spiral bound and this and that, and that's fine. But only about 1% of those colorists are willing to pay for it or can afford to pay for it. So in that respect, I think that the best option, if you have a preference on paper and binding, is to actually get the PDFs, because then you can print on the exact paper that you like and get it bound in the way that you prefer it. I mean, and then some others say that, oh, it's because the artist is not thinking about the colorist and they just don't go for getting the best product. No, the artists, they go for what they can afford. And in 90% of the case of the artists, the only reason that they can even get their art out to you is because they have this possibility. Hi, Felicia. Is because they have this possibility of actually doing it with Create Space. And that's how they're able to put the books out, because otherwise they wouldn't be able to afford it. Because, and then you have artists who struggle to get money together to get the books printed perfectly in the most desirable fashion. And then there's a minimum amount of books that they have to buy from the printers. And a lot of those artists get stuck with maybe like 3,000 copies of books that they can't sell because they only sell a couple of hundred. And then they really lose. So that's sort of some of the reasonings that I wanted to give you about that. So the best option is, you know, if you really want the perfect paper, get the PDF. If you like the, you know, the material has been tested, and you can color with anything, and especially if it's single page printed, you can easily put a piece of cardstock between the pages, and you won't hurt the next image. So of course it's essential that it's single page printed. That means that if a book says it has 50 images inside on Amazon, then you have to look at the page count. Because if it has 50 drawn pages, it should say that it has 100 to 106 pages inside. Minimum 102 pages. Because they count both the front and the back of the page. So if a book says it has 25, let's say a book says it had 30 drawings inside. If you then don't go down in the description and look, and it says it only has like 35 pages inside, then they'll be double-sided printed. So then you know that way of looking at it. So that's it. The Weirdie of the 9th of January is officially colored and done, and it's looking good. I think this one is ready to party now, because it's sort of like, you know, it's in dance mode. And I did have a feeling to fill out a bit here, but I think I'll leave it like this, because then, you know, it will be like a little bit sad if I fill it out and nobody has the possibility to color it because I already colored it. That was why I wanted to do it before, but then I was thinking that's also annoying if you're sitting with yours and then you don't have the filled out version that I was I was thinking to fill out, maybe make a face here. Then I wanted to make a face and a body here because I just thought it fitted really well when I was looking at it. I could do it anyways. What do you think? Should I do it? Should I do it? Should I fill it out a little bit? First one gets the saying, should I do it? Should I fill it out? A little bit more? Okay, I'll do it. Anyways, I have to. I've been thinking about filling it out since I looked at it yesterday. So I'm just gonna do that. I'm gonna go for number 5 of my style 5 of my Unipin fine liners, and then I'm just gonna freehand it. So it's not gonna be exact. I can't help it. I can't help it. I had to because I've been thinking about it. So this one will be a little bit special. This will be a special one. It won't be symmetrical like the rest. It will just be a freehand thing. That's funny. He's gonna have a little face there. A little blurby face. Yeah, I like that. See there, I overdrew the line. That's something that I would clean up. So yeah, I think that is going to be a little bit fun. We're just going to have an extra dimension on this one. Sorry, should have finished, but I didn't. I think that the yeah, troll it. So yeah, I'm just gonna do that because I just think it's fun. I've been thinking about it. Then I think I'll put this one on here. This is funny. I like that. I like that because it's been bobbling in my head because this is something I didn't see when I first drew this, and then when I was looking at it yesterday, I was thinking about how I wanted to just make that, draw that. So I'm just going to draw it. And have a little bit of fun with it. A little bit out of the box for this Weirdie. I think it's going to go like that. They're not going to be the same. Definitely not. I don't want it to be the same. So, yeah, this is going to be fun. We're going to get some different expression here. And so it's going to be We'll have to hope that the top is dry enough for me not to smear all the ink if I try to color it, to sort of finish it off. So I'm gonna be doing like my hair keeps touching that tripod. This is pretty annoying actually. So there's a bit of a smear there. Yeah. Why not? You know, I mean, that's the fun part. Like sometimes when you have colored something, you can add details. You can go crazy with it and take it new places if you feel like it. You know, you might have seen something while you were doing it and think, oh, I want to do that. And then you can do so. You can always develop on a piece. You know, it doesn't have a set way of how it's supposed to be. The set way is how you make it, how you want to make it. So this will be out of the box. Definitely out of the box. Because normally I draw the weirdies on my iPad. I don't draw them, I draw them in hand with my iPad Pro pencil on that surface. But I don't draw them out on paper. So that's a different approach to how I, for instance, draw twisters, or how I draw Imagiworld, or you know, like it's a different techniques that I use, and this is fun. And of course, when I draw on the iPad, it will be mirroring what I draw, so it will be perfectly symmetrical, which is not gonna be when I draw it in hand, like here. It's not gonna be absolutely the same, but it'll give the drawing sort of a new dimension and a new look, a new outlook, a new lease, so to say. And I did actually plan to do that before I colored, but then I changed my mind. And then when I was finished, I still felt so much like doing it, so I couldn't help myself. So sorry about that. Hope it doesn't ruin it for you. That now this one has a new aspect, and I'll have to color it a little bit more. I'll just have to dig in there and get a few colors in there, and then we'll be done. So yeah, that was a little surprise. Yeah, exactly, bird with a beak. That's why I'm thinking that I'm gonna start with the orange down here, right there where it's a little bit beaky, and then work my way out from there, because that sort of fits right here. So it will be different, same color palette, but a different system. So we'll see what that will end up looking like. It will definitely be a special one. It will be a special Weirdie, because it will be like none of the other 9th of January Weirdies at all. So we're gonna work it out from here. I'm going very, very light on this because I just drew it, which means that I could very easily smear. The symmetry, yeah. I mean, to do it that perfect symmetry would be, I mean, you could do it in the old days, the old-fashioned way, with that you would draw the one side of a drawing and then you would transfer it, you know, like use transfer paper and just transfer it onto the other side to get the perfect symmetry. That's how you do it old-fashioned wise. That's how you did mandalas before you had programs. Then you would draw an eighth of a mandala, and then you would complete, you know, like repeat that eighth. You would put that on the transfer paper or baking paper or something like that, and then you would transfer it on to get those perfect symmetries. That's why a lot of mandalas don't work, because the mandalas do need that symmetry. So some it depends. It's different how people work with it. There are some that do hand-drawn mandalas all the way around. I do that when I do my big pieces. I don't transfer or do any symmetry, or I just do it boom, 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 and I'm pretty regular. I have a very steady hands, and I have a lot of practice. But those that don't, it can end up being quite a mess, to be honest. But that can also be a very charming mess that is fun to work with. So I'm either for or against. I think it depends on individual tastes and what the result is of the person who made it, you know. Not everything has to be perfect or symmetrical, and I think that this is might be a nice touch inside of this one, that it just has this added dimension. Whereas when I draw them, I draw and it will draw on the other side, and then I'll work from there. So that's a different way. Let's see, here we have a yellow. So I'm also going in a different order with my colors here, because I want to create this differently, but using the same colors. So we will be continuous with our palette and how we're working it. You see down here, I can start here. I can get this one up there. We'll see how it develops on each side. And up here, I will go for this one. So yeah, we got it started. And then I will go for the green here, because I'm going to backtrack there so that it isn't the same system. So yeah, we're just doing a little bit out of the box here. Going even reverse order. So this will be not just a piece out of the Weirdies, this will be an extra, because I worked it differently. So, but that's a fun thing, and this is what you can expect that sometimes will happen. If I'm sitting working on something with you guys, then I might, you know, all of a sudden have a feeling and an urge, and then I will probably follow it. Because that's how art works, that you have to sort of follow your momentum in the moment, and that might mean that you're getting out of the box. So we are right now outside the box, and we're filling it in. I had to do this one down here because I'm reversing my order, which I think is pretty neat to do inside of this. So up here we will be going for, I'm going to do this one first. This is nice. Oh, that was a good idea. I like it. I like it. So I guess nobody's colored Weirdies will look like mine, unless you guys give it a go with giving it a little bit of a different personality inside. You know, if you can, then do it. Add yourself to it. You know, that is fun. There's nobody says that it's you know, it's when once you are sitting with it, then you are continuing on the piece, and you can do whatever you like on it and develop it further, or you know, it's always fun challenge to even, you know, go further on something that's already done and see what you can add to it. Yeah, well, you know, no, I think I will be done. I will be. Now I'm sitting thinking about white gel pens and stuff that I could add also, you know, but I'll try to limit myself a little bit, you know, don't go all crazy. I think it's enough to go a little bit crazy. A little bit crazy goes a long way, because if we were all normal, it would be so boring. The world would be a boring place if everybody was normal. We all have our own little measure of crazy, and that's what makes life fun. So yeah, just gonna backtrack even further here. Now I have to make a decision here of where I'm gonna go. I'll start up here. Then I'll think I will do this one in the blue. And then I'll backtrack on these ones. And then I'll go forward. But it'll probably not be exactly the same on the other side. Let's see what I think, where I think it fits in. I think it ties in here. That's my natural space where I think this one ties in. Even though I do know there are 3 lines and only 2 there. But it just ties in here for me. So that's where I'm gonna go for it. So that's my finishing touches. So I'm just gonna backtrack up here so I don't forget that. So we get a new dimension. Yep. We get new dimensions on this one. And of course this one will be absolutely unique because there will not be one like it at all, as I didn't scan it, so I just went and added and colored straight away. So this one is it's a unique piece. But that's the fun part when you're sitting working on something and you all of a sudden can see, oh, I could just add this there, or I could do this and it would maybe complete it, or you know, just give a different feel to it. That's why it's also fun to watch others finish pieces, because there are people who will add little details that will make it even more interesting. So and now we are on to the purple. Let's see, purple. Here we go. And it will go down here. It's that now I'm very concentrated, sorry. I had just had a moment of inspiration with it, and then I'm focused, and then I'm not saying anything because I'm thinking. That happens. That that thinking process happens sometimes. So yeah, but I'm liking this. I'm liking the result that I'm seeing. I'm liking the added dimension and the added perspective that I'm getting in here. So that's a good thing. Got the pink here. Oh, my hair gets in the way. It's really annoying with the hair. I ordered one of those things, arms for holding iPads and iPhones. That's been going around on Facebook lately for that I'm hoping I can replace this tripod with that, and then not get tangled in, and maybe it'd be easier for me to move the camera up and down and around, and then I won't be sitting in a tent of a tripod because it's really quite exhausting sometimes, also because I'm all the time afraid that it's gonna like fall on the floor or something, fall off the table, because this is a big tripod. So I think it is called a tripod. So you see here, I'm gonna add the red here in the lips because I wanted the mouth to be red, because this is a mouth. But I'll be adding it down here as well. And that Weirdie will just have to have an orange inside of mouth or a white one. So that's sort of that. Well, you see, it works perfectly. We even got through the whole range here. From in there and out, and finishing with the orange. So with the numbers, it's also worked really well. That's something I do a lot of when I draw. I count, endlessly count. I count the lines. I count all kind of things in the drawings. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just minor obsession about having the right count or something. It's something that I do. It's an also thing I do. It's not. I don't have to remind myself of counting because I just do it. So this is something I do when I draw. I count. I know it sounds pretty weird, doesn't it? But it really isn't weird. It's just, it makes sense to me. It will be orange. It will be orange. And that worked out really well. That worked out really well. And then this kind of becomes like eyes too. So this is funny. It brings a new dimension. And I've been like, I remember because it was like yesterday when I saw it, that this one was for today. I was thinking, oh, because I would just see that shape there and that shape there. And I was just thinking, oh, I need to fill them. I need to expand on it. I need to put something in there. And that's why I've also started with some of my newer Weirdies that I actually saved my first base drawing of it. And then I will, fill it on one way, and then I'll turn it around, fill it on the other way, but still save the base. I didn't on this set, so I don't have the base drawings of them, which I'm kind of sad about now because I wish I had saved them. See, that's dirty down there. That's something that I have to clean up after I scan it. Smudgy, little sticky, sweaty hands and stuff like that dirties up the picture. So that's why I don't eat peanuts when I draw, or anything that will, you know, when I'm drawing, I will have a kitchen towel or paper underneath my hand, you know, just to prevent from any sweat or smudges to stick on, because that will leave marks on the drawing, and we don't want that, because then we'll have to clean it up afterwards. So we want to avoid any of that as much as possible. So now I think it's done. Now I'm happy. So that was just a little bit of extra that got in there. On a review, if you're just taking a photograph, then it doesn't matter. You know, if it's just a photograph, it's the gel pens or neons won't show on a scan. But if you're doing a review and you just take a photograph of your coloring, then it's perfect. Then it doesn't matter. It's only if you need to scan the actual color piece that the glitter jellies or the neons will not show on the actual scan. But on a photograph, they will show perfectly and they'll be pretty. So that's kind of that, Julie. So you see, it just got a new dimension. It just got a new little Weirdie inside of it and a new little Weirdie face up there. So here we go. Now I think I'm finished. Sorry for the delay, but I just had to do it. I felt it, so that's the way it goes down. You're welcome, and I'll see you tomorrow for this one, the crazy one. I'll see you for that one tomorrow. Toro's gone mad on a mad hunt for bullfighters. They're gonna go fight the bullfighters. They already, oh yeah, you see here, this is a bull and this is a bull, and they got trophies. These are bullfighters' hats that they got a hold of. So yeah, this is definitely the bull's trophy drawing. So I'll say goodbye for now, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great evening, and have fun with your Weirdies, and take good care of yourself, and be positive, and think about positive mantras for the positivity twister chill pills. So see you. Bye bye. Hasta mañana.